Here we go.
Yeah, that was Tim's fault. He didn't transition the first time.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the fifth episode of Memphis by Night. So, last session, Noah used her blood sorcery to find out some very useful information about Sabrina, Zoe, and the unknown person from the office at the nuclear plant. The rest of the coterie went to Frisky Risky to look for more into the places that Zoe may have been last seen. While there, they Varlin went and talked to the hooded figure that he saw watching him from before, which turned out to be Ashley, Sabrina's older sister. And she basically informed him that they were digging into something that they had no business doing, and that if they didn't stop, she couldn't foresee what would happen to them. She also informed him that, along with her, Silas is kind of just a pawn in this whole thing. He is not the head of everything. While at the bar, they found a kind and brutally destroyed this poor kind that Silas had paid to basically be sent to sing the song, the little earworm song that's been playing in everyone's head. Um, After the things that happened at the bar, they returned to meet up with Sabrina and Noah to discuss what they had found and came up with a plan to figure out how to get more information about Silas and also what's happening. During this plan, uh, Jeannie and Noah decided that they would pretend to betray the rest of the coterie in hopes of getting the information that they need. So we will start tonight's episode with Heather. Heather, you have reached out to your sire, have been sending her information, all the information you can find about the song and anything else that may be useful to you, to her. She did reach back out to you, has asked you to meet her at Glendale Community College at the library.
Well, I guess I'm going to get getting myself to that appointed time and place.
So when you arrive to the library, it is close to close. There's not many students left in here. There's a few. There's the librarian, of course, and in the back corner of this library, there sits a woman. She has long brown hair, tan skin, and she has her in her hand a book of old Greek music and Italian music, and she's just kind of flipping through it as you walk into the library.
Kind of walking up, but not wanting to sneak up on her, so I'll just kind of, Sarah, hello.
She closes the book. She closes the book lightly and looks at you, and she's like, "It is good to see you, Heather."
How did you get here? I wasn't expecting you for like weeks.
I have been in Memphis for a while, keeping a tight cover, as it will, thanks to Rebecca. I have received all the information you have sent me. The music, the sheet music that you sent me is from an old Greek um, proverb that has been translated into Latin. As you remember, this is one of the few songs that I first taught you, but not this variant of it. This one has been changed into something dangerous, as it were.
It seems to speak words of anger directly to your beast. If you hear it.
Yes, but this song is meant to bring comfort or to dull the beast in a sense, to calm it. But whoever had the power to write these words, they are very powerful. Even I myself can't change the words of music in this way.
You understand why it worried me. I mean, it gives other people the thing that we already have. And that's very disturbing because that shouldn't be possible.
That is the thing. I have went above to my own primogen to see if there's some way to maybe fix the song, but I have not had any reply as of yet.
I mean, it affected me when I heard it, but it's not sticking in my head because I'd imagine that's like trying to pour water into a river. It's already full of music that's running all the time, so that's not going to stick.
And you are one of the lucky few that this won't affect as strongly.
It was so weird when I heard it, though.
It called to you.
More than that, it like got to a place inside that I've never felt so angry.
I understand when I first saw it, my beast also was not very happy with what I was holding or what I was listening to. Until I'm able to find more information from the Primogen, I've given you what I was able to find on my own. I would suggest that you and your friends be careful when being near the song.
We might need to find a way to, I don't know, get it out of people's heads safely so that it's not stuck with them forever. This isn't fair.
She pulls a piece of paper out of her pocket and hands it to you. I was able to find the original of this song that may be helpful. I would try it with your friends first before trying exposing anyone else to it.
I might practice it alone first and get it good before I mean, I wouldn't go to someone random and try this out, but I don't want to try it on people I trust first when I don't know what it'll do.
That is understandable.
It absolutely mustn't make things worse.
I did try it on a few of your clanmates, my children. It works very well with them, but I do understand your concern.
I'd need to perform it right. I'll try it first if that's okay.
That is fine.
Thank you so much for your help. I did not expect you to come all this way.
I had nowhere else to go. It
Well, I know how
fell in
that goes.
it
I mean, I
fell
don't
in
think. Sorry.
it fell in London, so I needed to rebuild, and this is a new start.
I mean, I was thinking like Memphis definitely wasn't top of our list, but that's probably the very reason that it's the best place to be because it's not going to be the top of anyone else's list either.
Is there anything else you need from me?
Not right now. Thank you again, though.
For the moment, I do not have my own personal way of communication, so if there is anything you need from me, please go through Rebecca and she will make sure the message gets to me.
Of course. Thank you.
And she grabs the book she was holding and stands up and kind of nods at you and makes her way out of the library.
I'll take the music with me and also leave the library, go back to my car and head back to my haven and then go on to the hotel.
Is everyone meeting at the hotel, or is everyone there yet, or is there anything particularly anyone is doing before they
Barlin
get
lives at the hotel. They got a bed, place for him to keep the rain off his head. He's there all the time. It's great. It beats the overpass he used to lay under.
Levi would probably be out gathering the equipment he said he would be before. Between cell phones and bugging devices and cameras. He would be stealing it from various locations throughout the city. So they're not as traceable. Try to wipe them clean, scrub, and then repurpose them.
Too bad they don't got circuit cities anymore. I like those.
Yeah, those used to be cool.
So, Noah, as you are making your way to the hotel, you do receive two messages. One is from Marcus. He simply says, Jessica, the Malkavian Primogen, would like to meet with you. It does not have to be tonight. Give me a time that works of your best choosing, and I will relay the message to her. But she does want to meet with you.
3 a.m.
And Marcus simply responds, I can make that happen. The other message is from Nathaniel, the werewolf that you saved at the nuclear plant. And it's just a series of photos. One is a picture of a red fabric that he seems to be holding. And then the other is of a gold necklace. And he simply types, I found one of your kind, or what was one of your kind, trying to take another one of mine. This is what I saved for you if you and your friends want to look into it. Send me where to meet, and I will make sure one of my mates meet you and bring it to you.
Absolutely not giving him the address to the hotel. No. Probably some bar a block away. Not Frisky Whiskey.
And he responds back with, again, thank you for, it has been a while since we've spoken. I do want to extend my thanks again for you saving me. If you need anything from me or my tribe, let me know.
Not being that good at texting, unfortunately, he's going to get a thumbs up emoji.
So you have a little bit of time until you have to meet the rest of the coterie at the hotel. Nathaniel did say that give them about 5-10 minutes, and he would just shoot a text to let you know that the person is there. But if you want to go meet the others before then, that is your choice as well.
What she is going to do is something she's learned recently. Screenshot what he said and then send it to Levi, because Levi's a tech one. And send to all.
Hopefully, we're the only contacts in her phone. Yeah, I know.
Y'all got phones?
I guess Varlin will see it when someone shows it to him.
I need you to send me a wire, actually. That'd be great.
A
A
telegram.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's like a singing telegram, something like that.
So you all arrive at the hotel. Who is the first one to get there besides Varlin and Jeannie that live there? Who is the first one of the others to get there?
I'm still
I
gonna
guess
be late.
if I'm coming straight from the hotel, well, I'm coming straight from the library, and the library probably was closing fairly early for us, so I'm probably there quite early on.
I'm assuming Levi's already in the computer lab.
Yeah, he will be there reprogramming some of the stuff he's gathered and the new cell phones for a couple people. Because he broke one last session.
I'm going to say it's about midnight-ish, 11 p.m.-ish when Noah graces everyone with her appearance.
I think Varlin is trying to do like a card game with Jeannie. Like he's fanning out the cards and he's like, all right, now you pick one, you remember what it is. And I'll tell you, I see the future, you know. I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you your card. He's like holding them out. He's like eating a cheeseburger with one hand.
I'll take a card.
All right, now you remember it and you put it back in. I'll shuffle it up. I'll draw it.
Put it back in.
Makes a big production of not looking at it, you know, he's shuffling it up. And he hands you like the completely wrong card. There you go. That's it, right? Nailed it. You can
You're
say it.
terrible at this.
What are you talking about? Spookily accurate. Let's do it again.
Totally accurate. That'll be what card he draw tomorrow as Levi walks up behind you.
You want to get in on this, Levi? I'll tell you.
Nope, you're too good for me, sir.
Well, that's what they all say. You want cheeseburger?
But I've been finding some interesting stuff about things online about some of the places we've been. Nothing particularly new, but a lot of new people going in and out, and some interesting stuff. But here's your phone, Jeannie. It's a new one.
Yay.
It only has us as contacts. Please don't contact any more of your relatives or family.
Sure.
Y'all have relatives and family?
Some of us may have some still alive, Varlin.
Yeah, we're not all ancient like you.
Oh, I ain't that old.
And I've
Looks
known
over pointedly at Noah.
some vampires to oversee their family lines. But that's neither here nor there. But hopefully we can get something figured out today. I managed to gather some cameras, and he lays out 3 or 4 small cameras you might place in some places, and some what appear to be little, I don't know what they look like any, but listening devices, bugs, things like that. Now, when you guys go in, where is Noah? She's always so late. It's like she sleeps in forever.
Yes, I do, she says as she arrives.
There's so much to a day, and we only have all night.
I miss those extra 12 active hours sometimes, you know?
I mean, you can always try waking yourself up in the middle of the day. It hurts, but you can try.
You spend plenty of days in a dumpster here and there, half in and out of consciousness. I wouldn't recommend it.
Mm.
So
What are these?
when you manage to get into the look, I can't think of the gentleman's name. That's Tim right now. when you get to his place, you can possibly, if you can hide these a few places, we can see who's going in and out and maybe listen in with some of these. If you can just drop them in a few places, not in water.
You talking about old Blue Eyes, Mr. Knight?
Yes.
Silas.
Silence, yes.
So y'all are gonna pretend to betray us, right?
Yeah.
Pretend.
100%.
I pick up some things. I see kids do this.
Are you afraid that we're not going to pretend?
Well, I only just met y'all, so no offense.
True.
None taken.
Until there's such time as they have an advantage, but I think he's obviously the person, at least one link in this chain up, knowing stuff.
I don't know. He does seem too big for his britches. Back when we met him at the college there, he tried to put the whammy on me. You know, he did that thing. He got all intense, stared at me, wanted me to move away. Or no thing. I don't think he's all he's cracked up to be.
I mean, that's the point to find out, because as said, this might be just a ladder to climb up. It's just the highest rung we've seen so far.
And if he can get us more information, particularly what the queen wants, princess, whatever.
You know, or plan B, we got like 5K off that guy in the alleyway. Get ourselves like a fairly used Winnebago. Split on out of here, you know? See the Grand Canyon? Just saying, you know.
Nah,
I don't feel like it's going to fix the problem of songs in people's heads.
And I got reasons
I
to
want
be
that
in
out of my
town.
head.
Yeah. I'm trying not to think about it. Now you made me think about it by talking about it.
I could try to make you forget. I've been known to be able to do that from time to time.
No,
Do it
thank
right
you.
here in front of everybody.
I'm afraid you might take something important if you sneeze. So.
Oh, you say you don't trust my skill? I'm offended.
I would
We
like to.
just met.
Yes.
All right.
But I will keep that in mind if it becomes too annoying.
I would never do it without your consent. There's a few things that I like to pride myself on, difference-wise, between myself and Mr. Blue Eyes, Mr. Silas Knight.
So as all of you are sitting in the lobby of the hotel, Sabrina kind of wanders in, and she seems to be carrying this sketchbook. And she walks over to you all and just sets it on the table. And she begins to like flip through it. And as she flips through it, you all see the woman in the red dress. And it's different, like, portraits of this woman. Like, she just drew it from memory. And she sits down and she's like, I kept seeing this. I know that Kindred can't really dream, but it just kept popping into my head, so I needed to draw it.
Those are called visions.
And I think you're more than kindred.
I feel like you're just haunted.
Let's take a look at it. I've been known to see things from time to time. Not all of them turn out to be true, but, you know, you can't win everything.
Looking at the portraits that she drew, Levi's going to do the flip book theory. Just kind of see if they make a scene or emotion as he flips through them.
So when you flip through them, there seems to be two. She only showed you all the portraits of the woman, but as you're flipping through the whole book, it's two figures. It's one that seems to resemble her and one that seems to resemble the woman in red. And it's very clear that the figure that is her is fighting with eternal voices, which seems to be this woman in red.
Just for clarification, who is her? The other, not the woman in red. I'm sorry,
Sabrina.
Sabrina. Okay, just making sure that's the image on the picture. So Sabrina's. He's drawing her Sabrina fighting with the woman in red. Okay. When you saw those ghosts or that spirit, was that a woman in red or something like that in that room? I'm looking over to our people who see visions.
Oh, you're asking? Yeah, bro. I was like, yeah, absolutely. She was a looker too, man. I was trying to get a dance in, but she kept running off.
Okay.
Well, I
Seems
heard
like
she led you guys on a chase too, right? Or something like her.
that's where we found the alchemy room, I believe, following the image of that.
Yeah, man. She's trying to tell us something. There's something there.
Sabrina, are your visions of fighting her, or this is just creative parts?
It's it's not really fighting her, I don't think. I just know something's telling me that she's not safe. My visions are not me now. It's more me as how I see myself as a child, I guess.
You're effectively a child to me, so I need more explanation for that.
Not a child in your sense, but a human child, a little kid.
It would definitely behoove us to see if this lady in red matches up with any sort of historical figures in the area or events. You know,
Would you like to research that? I don't know where to
I
start
don't,
on that one.
I don't quite know how. Levi over here talking about online this and chip chap tweet blab that. I don't, you know.
Well, we can look through some historical sites and see if they got anything at the local museums or any references to that. If we need to, we can probably get into the records at
Wasn't
some.
her face all burnt up, you know, on one side?
Hmm.
There might be something in the medical records there. I know a guy, a medical examiner in Memphis. He might know something about that. Victims with a burnt up face. I don't know. Can't be too many of those.
Judging on the clothing and things we see, is there any indication of possible time or attire for, like, if she was dressed in something the fashion of the 20s, the 30s, 40s, something like that?
Looks more of something from like the 50s
Well,
based on
let's say we would start with something around the 50s.
Sounds
Oh,
good to me. I'm more of a legwork kind of guy. You know, all this modern stuff. I don't quite
well, speaking
get
of
it.
legwork, I forgot. I got a message. I sent you something, Levi. I don't know if you sent anyone else, but I know you
Oh,
wouldn't have
yeah.
gotten it.
Yeah.
Got a
Sorry.
message from Resident Werewolf regarding having ran across one of our kind. I assume he meant a ghoul or something of the sort because he said he found it and there was a red cloth that he took a picture of and something gold, and he said want to pick him up. I told him to drop him off at one of the nearby bars, and one of his mates were going to go over there and drop it off for me, so should expect some message sometime soon. That's some legwork.
All right. And
Something gold?
a ghoul?
What was that?
You said something gold?
Something gold. I think it was a necklace.
Necklaces might be important. Wasn't there a necklace related to The sister?
What's more related is red cloth. I don't know actually what it was. He just kind of held it.
And he got it from one of our kind or a ghoul, huh?
Strange times working with lichens, you know. Strange times indeed.
You didn't see him.
Why? Was he cute?
Yes.
Yes.
Not too bad for a werewolf.
Well, if Levi says so.
Exactly.
But I still wouldn't get in arm's reach of him if I can.
Yeah, I don't blame you there, sir.
I mean, you wouldn't have an option if he chose to do so. They are very fast and very deadly.
That is why I try to run and hide.
Hide is important. Running,
I don't
you're
know.
not going to win.
I think we could give him a run for his money.
Levi
You
shakes
No.
his
put
head.
more depth there, youngin. Shit.
Jeannie, like,
You are adorable, but no.
I
I
know
don't
you're
recommend
all hot to trot because you tuned up that human a little while ago, but we're talking magnitudes of difference here.
Honestly, I'd never seen one before. I got told about them like they were sort of the boogeymen. Oh, don't go out into the countryside. You'll get werewolves.
So I did see something recently. I saw that Matrix movie, you know, and when they talk about the agents, what do you do when you see an agent, right? So I think about that with lichens. You run, you just light out. You don't want to mess with that.
First
It's
try
fair
to
enough.
not.
Somebody literally didn't want to tear us in two. It's interesting.
But you said you got some stuff to recovered. Were they going to bring the person with him that they recovered it from? Or that's
No,
an
I
image?
think I don't know what they did with the person. I know they have items.
Okay.
They might have torn up the person. I have no idea.
All
But
right. I was hoping maybe we could do a facial recognition if they had some images of him, but okay.
Items are
unlikely.
good. We could get stuff off items.
There might be teeth if you're very lucky.
Yeah. Digging through dental records is boring.
Hair,
So
blood.
while this conversation is happening, you do receive a text, Noah, from Nathaniel that basically says Lilith is at the bar at Blue Night Bar. She has the items.
Like someone named himself Jesus. A woman named Lilith is at the bar waiting. So I can go. Someone can go with me. Make sure I don't get jumped, just in case this is a trap. I hope it's not a trap. It's probably not, but just in case.
Arlen wanted
I would
some
not be able
legwork.
to stop you getting jumped.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
Varlin
guess
can
either
come
me
with
or
me.
Varlin probably be the best to go.
Why don't you both go?
Somebody needs to stay here and make sure that y'all don't get jumped.
I don't think you need to worry. We've been around for a while.
I feel like Sabrina can handle everyone.
I am hoping she doesn't, but yeah.
She has gone back to. She has taken the book off the table and has gone back to like drawing.
But I'm
If
going to
she's
do some.
content, that is fine.
I'm going to do some digging into people who were burnt in the 1950s. Female, red dress.
Wedding.
Yeah.
For weddings.
I look over to our sketch artist, and this is Tim with his cold. Can you draw something in color?
If you give me the supplies to apply color, I
Oh,
just found this. So
definitely. I'll have Amazon deliver it tomorrow.
I could probably swing back. Like, is there an all-night store? I could go and get something now.
I don't know it would be open this time of night, but I
Are
guess
there
they
any
don't
like late
have
night
to be open.
supermarkets?
yes, there's Yes, there's one just like a block away. It's
I
like
don't know
a
any of the names. I've not done any. Like, why would I go grocery shopping? I'll go and get something. I'll see what there is. I've got the car. I can be useful.
So we will go to Noah and Varlin as they make their way to the Blue Night Bar.
Waiting for
Re-
Roland to come back.
yeah.
Oh, I thought I was going too.
Oh,
No,
well,
you're
yeah. Yeah, Ginny is going to.
I'm back.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all three of you make your way to the Blue Night Bar. When you walk up to this bar, it's very much not a bar that college students regularly attend. It's more of like an older crowd, so it's not as loud and as. So when you walk in, there's people in their like late 50s, early 40s, just talking and having a few drinks. It's very, very like a calm, chill atmosphere. But you do see one person that seems to stand out, and it is a female with blonde hair at the tips. It's red, and she's just patiently sitting at the bar. In front of her is like a drink. It's a glass of like rum and coke that she's not. She's taking small sips of, but more or less she's kind of just moving it around.
No, we'll go right up to her. Take a seat right next to her. No real respect for personal space.
Varlin will hang back and find a vantage spot he can kind of watch the interaction. When he thinks no one's looking at him, he's going to use his obfuscate, kind of blend into the shadows.
As soon as you sit down, Noah, she slides you an envelope. Nathaniel told me to meet with you and hand off this.
All that's just in here?
That is what he decided to keep after letting said thing go. By letting go, I mean he destroyed it, but he felt that you would need something, so he saved that stuff for you.
Would you mind sharing exactly what happened so I have some sort of context as to what to do with this?
She, as you say this, she rolls up her sleeve of her shirt, and there are claw marks. This wound is not fully healed yet, but there are claw marks like dug into her arm. She goes, one of your kind, our kind, something of the two attacked us. They are after me specifically.
Like one of our, do you mean one of our humans or?
It wasn't human, it wasn't quite werewolf, it wasn't quite kindred, it was some kind of mixed something.
Yeah, go on.
It came alone. It felt that it could handle all of us. Clearly not. But if it wasn't for Nathaniel stepping in, I wouldn't be here to hand off this information to you.
Hmm. Would there happen to be any type of blood? Well, she's gonna open up the envelope and look at the fabric or look at whatever's in there.
On like the edges of the fabric, there's blood from where it clearly came from an area where there was a wound.
All right, I could do something with this, I guess. And Did they show any other power aside from being able to apparently fillet your wrists?
They were very strong, stronger than us.
Anderson?
They it took about 3 or 4 of us to finally subdue it.
It stayed in the human form the entire time?
Yeah, it didn't change.
It's interesting. Huh. Well, I have a personal question for you. Why did you name yourself Lilith, or is that a family choice, or why?
Great question.
My name is Luna. Lilith is a name that Nathaniel chose for me.
I'll have a conversation with Nathaniel.
He is the leader after all. I don't argue with him.
Do you like the name?
It doesn't seem to bother me. He named me Lilith because Luna was the name of his sister that got taken. And it was hard on him. So I just accepted Lilith.
There's a lot of layers of connotation there that I won't get into right now. But you said his sister was taken by the same group or by a
She
different situation?
taken before he was. He wasn't really taken. He went there to save her. Alone.
Of course.
I do thank you for saving him.
Well, I hope y'all purified him a lot, or did whatever you could, given that he was down there for so long in an unknown occultist situation. Because I come from a certain culture where possessions are kind of a thing, and he seems like someone who might have been very marked. So I'm just do with that as you will. But thank you for this. I'm going to do a bunch of uncanny things with it. Did you have anything else you wanted to share?
Just know that we are at your call if you need anything.
We most likely will, because I will be calling you the moment we find out what the source of all this is, because this needs to stop. But wrap that up nicely, and have a good evening.
She nods and just goes back to drinking her rum and coke.
She gets up and does head out.
When you smelled the cloth earlier, the blood on it, your beast felt very sick, so you got very nauseous from the smell.
Why you shouldn't huff bloody cloth, you know? Just
How do you
saying.
know it's real blood if I don't huff it?
You got
Put it in my
chemicals to test that. I don't know.
Yeah, she'll head out and she'll motion for the people who followed her because she can't see.
Yeah, back up. Yeah, he'll decloak. And they're like, so you think that was Ashley, or we got some other hybrids out there?
Did you hear all that?
I mean,
There's
You
one
were
that's
that
bound
I
to be
didn't
one.
know. Very nice. So wait, maybe I don't know.
could be other students. You know, there were plenty taking that class.
Yeah, but in terms of Ashley's situation, I haven't been seen her in combat, so I don't know whether or not she'd be able to throw down with 4. She didn't specify if they're all werewolves, but all of their kind.
I don't know, man. If they're doing some kind of DQ Blizzard situation, could get real messy.
I don't get that reference at all.
Oh, well, you take a little bit of vampire, a little bit of werewolf, blend it all up into a sugary confection, and you got a whole lot of hurt.
Oh, okay.
Like
But I mean,
our
yeah.
roommate.
If they have made something successfully, absolutely. And I'm very interested in how they did it.
What you got in the package?
And she'll just flat out take out from the envelope the cloth, which can be described.
As you're looking at the cloth, it seems to come from like a shirt, like a blouse. So it's fabric of like a blouse.
Possible connection to the Red Lady? Does it look like
It's red, yes. It's a red blouse that it came from.
It's very good cloth.
Yeah. We're definitely doing some uncanny shit to this later for sure.
Smell it.
I like to hold it and rock with it for a bit. Sometimes I see some stuff. I don't know about huffing it though.
But just take a small smell.
Do I have to?
Yes. How else will you know the pain I just went through?
All right, give me that. Just looks at you like, damn.
So just for funsies, while you're smelling this cloth, let's see. I would like you to roll resolve and aspects, because you're gonna have a little premonition, friend.
Oh yeah. It's a good time for that. All right.
Jeannie's just standing there redirecting traffic on the sidewalk. Totally normal activities right here.
Yeah.
Definitely not doing drugs.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
Puffing some cloth,
Yeah.
Normal.
Totally normal. Look away. Look away, sir.
Yeah, you have a few that have stopped because the last thing a few of them heard, I'm not smelling that, and they're like, what? So and you're like,
Drunk human activities here.
It's downtown Memphis. They've probably seen weirder shit than some cloth.
so your eyes kind of glaze over and you're immediately pulled in what seems like this person's body per se, like their last couple of hours. And you see yourself meeting at this, what looks like a council. There are other members that are there, and it's a lot of members. It's at a church and it's full with people all in red. And then you look and there's like a podium like area, and then there's Ashley and then Silas and then some woman that just has this red veil over her face, but her features are clearly female. And then there's the sheriff, and then some unknown person that you don't know, but they are male and they have long black hair. And you see this female, the one with the veil, point at you and tell you the location of this specific werewolf tribe and the werewolf that you are sent to go after.
Okay. So I'm humala shamala, on the sidewalk, doing my thing. What are y'all up to?
Jeannie's standing there like, fuck, I knew he was high. I knew he was getting high. I knew it.
And then you see yourself get driven to this forest path. It's very dark, but you can see through the darkness. So your sight is very clear. The darkness doesn't seem to be affecting the sight. You do remember or see Silas is the one that has been chosen to drive you. And his words to you is, I will pick you up when the mission is done. If you do not survive, just think of it as a sacrifice to our queen. And then he drives off. And then you're immediately pulled back out of.
Well, shit. All right, you can have this back and that back. I'm looking forward to see what you get out of that. Yeah, damn. Looks around.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I don't think I've been all right for close to 100 years. But I'm back with you. That counts, right? I seen some shit. Maybe we should get back to the hotel and we can brief on it.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, let's head in.
Jeannie was having fun.
Well, I was telling Levi, objects are good, you know. Sometimes you just hone in on it.
So earlier, we did have someone donate 300 bits for us to use a complication. So the complication from that, Marlon, from that impromptu premonition is you feel the connection between you and your base sever just a little bit from that premonition.
Damn.
So does it feel like farther away, like harder to access?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So as we're walking back, I'll try to fill them in on the contents of that if I think, we're alone. But if it looks like it's too crowded, I'll save it for the hotel. Be like, yeah, it was weird. There's a bunch of dudes wearing red. Silas was there. Ashley was there. Jeannie's best friend, the sheriff, was there.
My best friend. Hold up.
He's like,
I'll have you know I have no
sorts, But you guys are definitely going to get into it at some point. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, until then. Anyway, Silas was being a big shot. He was giving out orders, driving me to a certain location. Anyway, I think this cloth comes from whoever it was that those lichens tussled with.
Yes, it did. Yeah, I was told that before. I knew that. I knew that before you tranced out.
All right. Well, hold on. I
got before you got high on the bloody rag.
I see why people huff these things now. I'm going to turn around on the subject. I get it. So apparently there's a red queen. There's a lady in red, had a veil. She was hanging out with Silas and the whole crew, dreaming up nasty shit to complicate our lives and others as well. So he was telling the owner of this particular piece of cloth that if they didn't make it back from their mission, consider it a sacrifice to their queen. So,
fair.
I don't know. Maybe useful. We'll see down the road.
Lets us know that our veiled red figure is real.
Mm-hmm. It does corroborate some of the things we heard from other people too. Where Silas isn't the end all be all. There's someone higher up. But ain't there?
Also, there's more things to fake when we go to talk to them.
I'm worried how we're going to deal with potentially half a dozen or more of these beings that can take on a pack, We just got the one genie.
the plan is that we don't deal with them, hence the infiltration to kind of go around back, so we're not in front of whatever army they're forming.
I did overhear that last saying, she's at our beck and call. That's kind of nice.
Oh yeah, so it's got the same thing from her. What do they call each other? He said mate. I'm gonna go with mate. I was gonna say husband. He had said that they are pretty much at our call at when needed, but I'm gonna make sure that we use that very carefully, because that is also calling in a nuke, and I don't want to do that freely.
Yeah, we don't need rampant masquerade violations. That ain't good for nobody.
I mean, I figure they have
What?
their own masquerade equivalent, given that there's not people running around going, "Oh my God, werewolves are real."
Oh yeah.
You soaking
no
all
more.
this up, Jeannie? You absorbing it?
Oh yeah. She is
Okay.
not.
Narrator.
0.
She wasn't.
She was not. She's like 6 months old. Y'all gotta cut her some slack. She has a lot going on.
6
Dang,
months
bro,
old,
get
hanging out
yourself
with
like a
100 years old.
notepad or something.
So while you three are walking back from the bar, we will go back to the hotel and see what Heather and Levi are doing. So Levi, as you are searching for any accidents or anything about a woman being burned or anything like that, you do find that in 1955 there was a house fire. The house is the current location of Harris University. All of the family members except the wife perished in that fire. It did state that she did have third-degree burns on half of her body. It did not list the name. It did list the name of her husband and her 2 children. Her husband's name was Zachariah.
Do we have a last name or surname or whatever you want to call it?
It was not listed. The son's name is Jackson, and the daughter's name is Daisy.
He would look through a bit for obituaries, see if there'd be any more information.
You are able to find their month and day of birth. The fire seemed to happen very quickly, so the funerals were very rushed.
Okay, no other write-up. Okay.
The date, the month and day for the birth of Daisy was August 21st. And the date and the month and day for Jackson was September 13th.
Did they they don't give a year of birth?
No.
Okay. They would have to be at least a year apart for proper incubation. He brings up that information eventually to the rest. He's going to look for images of this. He's going to start searching for any other incidences in this area of the building over the years, not before the college.
So this particular land or area seems to have a lot of tragedy connected to it. This is the 4th of reported house fires that have happened in that same location. This is the most tragic one out of the. There's a total of 7 that have been reported.
How
But
recent, or is it further back in time than this one in the 50s?
the earliest one dates to the 1930s.
Any information about that?
The family from that one survived. They were not at the residence when the fire was started.
Okay. If you want to go through each one, he would go through digging in. Otherwise, if you just want to throw a quick summary on Discord instead of each one, that's up to you too.
Yes, I will send you a quick summary. Move my Discord over. Sorry. Is there anything that you're doing, Heather, while he's looking up the...
I had driven to a store to get colouring in materials for Sabrina. I'm absolutely using that time in the car to practice the good version of the song, the helpful version of the song. With the doors closed and the windows closed so no one can hear me apart from me.
So as you begin singing this song, you do feel your beast calm. Like the anger that had resided from the other song is kind of dissipating. And so your beast is starting to calm down.
I'm wondering if this is a good time to try on my friends and whether they'd want me to or not, whether they trust me to. If it seems to work on me and all the information I have is that it does work, is it worth trying?
That is a you question.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going to ponder that. That's what I'm thinking about because it's not using all my mental faculties to go and buy some colouring in.
So the Varlin, Noah, and Jeannie. Sorry, that's who went. Arrive back at the hotel. When the 3 of you enter, Sabrina is still just sketching. Like, she is laser focused on sketching anything that pops into her mind. She has ripped out some of the pages and has laid them on the table. And the first thing that catches your eye, Varlin, is one of the drawings resembles the scene at the church from your that you had from your premonition.
Go ahead, pick it up and kind of look at it for a minute. Be like, yep, that's what I saw. No, our girl's on to something. I could be crazy as a shithouse rat. She could be equally crazy, but the fact that our crazy's matching, something to it.
Man, I never called you crazy. Never called her crazy. I always called the visions. And I very much believe in those. So you're saying that matches that?
Sure does.
Then she is playing radio.
If we can just tune into the same station, girl. Or I would like to check out the other drawings. See what else she's got cooking.
So the other ones on the table, there's one, and there's a figure of a girl. It does not resemble her, so this is a totally different female. And there's what she perceives as, it looks very monstrous in form, but from what you can make out, it's very much a werewolf, but to her, it's very monstrous in the sense. And this female figure seems to be, whether it's through blood sorcery, whether it's through magic at all, seems to be somehow hurting the monstrous figure, as you can tell by the way she's drawn it. And then there's a drawing of her sitting in like a what looks like a cell with her knees pulled up to her chest. And it's shaded, like darkness is all around, but the only light is on her, but the rest is shaded dark.
What does her emotional state look like? Is she like
In in that in that picture, that sketch, it is very fearful.
I just mean
Very
like her.
oh,
as
as
she's
she's drawing.
Her as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's doesn't seem to be upset. She's very calm. There are moments where you can see her like have an unnatural twitch as she's holding the pencil and sketching, but she is very almost spaced out, as it were, as she's drawing. Like she didn't
Does it
hear
look
you
like
all walk
one of those
in
like
at all.
sleepwalker kind of things where it might be more trouble than it's worth to try to snap her out of it?
It wouldn't hurt her to snap her out of it, but she would be kind
She's
of
not-
startled just a little bit because she did not hear the three of you walk in. That's how focused she is on this.
Right.
No,
I
it's
said
not
we just
disturbing
do it.
her at all.
Yeah, I said we just feed her
Keep
more
turning
paper.
it. Just go. Just keep going. Do what makes you feel good. Keep going.
Also, I don't think we've checked on her to see if she's fed lately. She might could eat.
Weren't y'all supposed to be watching her on that?
Eat?
Y'all, the people living in here with her, making sure she eats.
I mean, I didn't
Listen,
know that.
I'm barely responsible for myself.
Look, yes, don't let people go hungry.
Maybe we should put a note on the fridge or something. I don't know. 'Cause
Like, I don't know. You get hungry, you go eat.
She's younger than you. Like, make sure to help at least.
listen, just considering how well I did feeding last time, I don't know if you want me in charge of this thing, but
Well, it's Levi comes out of the back. You should at least help her learn to clean up after she's done eating. And not to play with
well,
her
I can
food.
say, the river was a pretty good idea. He probably won't be coming up till next spring.
Well, I found some information out about the location, and I think can't find the name of this woman in red, but I found what appears to be her family, at least in 1950. I can't, no last names in any of the reports, so we might have to go down to the cemetery, but I couldn't locate where that was either.
I'm always up for a trip to the cemetery. That's a hoot.
So,
I'd rather not.
nope. What do you got, the bum?
Sometimes there's teenagers out there playing The Cure, all dressed up. It's fun.
And
So you
Well-
said you found the red woman's family?
well, I found the location a lot of fires have gone in at the location where the college is. A lot of, and she was, if this is the person, I have no pictures. I just have some names from a brief write-up in a local newspaper at the time. And but I dug into the property in the area, and there's been 7 incidences of house burnings and stuff in that same area.
I like that.
And not all of them had survivors.
As fire does.
The woman, I'm assuming it's the wife, but she was burnt on half of her body. And that kind of fits the image we've seen in her drawings, as he points at him.
Yeah, that's a hell of a good start.
I feel like she may have survived, given that our dear Valen here had a striking vision of her giving somebody instructions.
Well, survived in a relative sense, maybe.
Survived enough to be a part of an undead cult.
Yeah, now that sounds right.
Now, did you get any idea when you had these senses or visions, location of where she might be?
Not so much, but I can say we can take Ashley out of the running for the person who attacked the pack because she was standing right by Silas, not no long. It wasn't her.
Now, you said something that clicked as I heard you coming in. She's having these visions of this, and I think somebody said something about a radio. Is she picking up on all of the other ones similar to her?
That's
maybe
my running theory, is that if they had the same vision, she's just kind of picking up psychic signals, we'll call it, and just putting them onto paper. Kind of like automatic writing, if you heard of that, where you just let your mind go blank and have your body just write out whatever it is it wants to do. I feel like that's what she's doing right now.
Something else that could be going on too, and I'm sure the other Malkavians wouldn't exactly appreciate this information I'm going to share with y'all, so maybe keep it under your hat. But sometimes we pick up on each other's thoughts, experiences, that sort of thing. Any child of Malkov sometimes can tune in. We call it like a madness network, something along those lines. Now, I don't know who their sire is or anything like that, but it's possible there could be a connection there.
Do you think she could be a child of Markov?
Could be. I mean, visions.
have we've not been able to determine exactly what she's not just kindred. So is she a mixture of various ones?
Too many cooks in the kitchen, you could say.
Question: why don't you believe she's not just kindred?
I believe there was something. This is Tim speaking. I believe there was something mentioned earlier, and I could be wrong.
The only thing that you have seen that can maybe give you that suspicion is the way her eyes shift to that like a natural orange color. But besides that, it's just a...
I thought there was something I had sensed weird with her beast at one time, but okay.
There was a darkness that
the
off.
aura of evil.
That's
aura
what...
of evil, possession. I mean, those are also all things that can be attributed to kindred as well. It's just weird to have them all grabbed into one thing. For all I know, she could be Cative, just has a grab bag with a bunch of different things happening later.
Is there a way for Noah to tell her clan?
Unfortunately, no. I don't. I could toss it at Marcus. I don't want to toss anything at Marcus, but I could toss it at him. Marcus is a Tremere, I know.
Gotcha. Yeah, the less to do with them, the better.
Yeah. But if need be, we could probably get a blood tested out. But that also means the Tremere now know about something.
Exactly. And we'd be in their debt.
Not so much. He's in my debt.
Well, but back to the property here. I think we're going to need some further investigation on how far back some of this goes.
Why the heck did they keep rebuilding it if it kept going on fire?
I don't think it's different structures on the same land.
Yeah, but like oh, the last 3 places are burnt. Like, when do you go, oh, they all keep going on fire. Let's stop building here.
Because humans don't like to believe in supernatural events. They just see nice property, not history of random fires happening that have no
Yeah,
cause. They
ain't you
just
ever
go,
heard a human say lightning never strikes the same place twice?
yes.
Other shit like that. They don't understand that there's things like ley lines or locuses of supernatural activity, et cetera, et cetera. So we know better.
Yes. They're just going to go, oh, this is nice land to build stuff on. And we'll build a house that won't catch on fire. And then it catches on fire somehow, some way that they could not predict because it's not by a human hand.
Did you get a location there, Levi, for where this family lived or anything like that?
That road.
Right where the college is built.
Oh, same place. All right, all right.
Oh,
Do
wait.
you know which part of the college? Was it the part of the college we went to specifically, or was it some other part?
Lanhee, you would have to answer that part.
So the location of the administration building is where the houses were built. And the administration building is the middle of campus.
Well, it was right here, and he points to the map of right where the administration structure is.
Oh,
And
that's fantastic.
everything's surrounded around it. Looking at the floor plans and from an aerial view, do we see any sort of pattern or in the buildings or structures?
So clearly from the floor plan and the build plan of the university, it's clear that the first thing built was the admin building, and it's whether or not, from all the fires that have happened, you can probably gauge that they built that to test if something was going to happen, because it's the oldest building compared to the rest of the buildings. And when nothing happened to that building, they started building other buildings. So the next oldest building is the library, and then the newer buildings or it's like where the biology labs are, and then the male dorms that are on that campus right now.
All right. Passing that information along, Levi goes, but he's going to start looking through the sketches and drawings. And has Heather returned with colors yet?
Yeah, I imagine that's what Sabrina was drawing with.
Okay. He's seeing what she shows in color now and listening.
And I got some information earlier this night that might be useful about the song.
Well, we're all ears. Love to hear it.
Well, nobody's perfect. I was looking into the history, and I contacted my sire to get some extra help with it. And she found the earliest version of the song that we know about. And it wasn't originally for like evilness and for manipulating people in a negative way. It was originally for calming. And the original version may well do that as well. I don't know if it will help. I'm willing to try it if you all want to hear it. And it might make it go away if it's stuck in your head still. From what you all have been saying, it sounds like it's just there a bit all the time for the people that have heard it. And this might help.
Lay it on me.
Even if it's a different words or something, yes, please.
Well, that's the point. Like the tune is the same, but the words are different, and that's where we'd got a sense of that's where the problem was, because the words of the new version are the ones that are making it corrupted.
Words hold significant power.
Yeah, I've never tried this before. I've helped people have different moods or suggested things. I've never this feels like it goes deep into places I've not gone before. I can do what's on that page, definitely.
Do we want
So you just want
Sabrina here for
something.
this, or
I think the way it goes is I try singing it, and you hear it, and then we see what happens.
You want to do us
But-
one at a time, I think might be suggested. Just in case there's a issue.
I mean, I
Just
hear
blow
that,
your
but what if I
hands
do?
up Sabrina's ears?
What if I do it really well the first time and not so well the second time, and then it affects someone badly if I do it individually? That's my only worry.
Or if you do it terribly the first time,
Yeah,
it can go either way. So might as
It
well just
can.
test it on one person right now. Levi, you're a great participant. Noah gets up.
I mean, Levi is definitely the person I most want to stop singing the song personally.
Noah
Fine.
just collects himself up, collects Sabrina.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want anything to interfere with her equilibrium because
Here, why don't we
You
go
know.
walk into... There's plenty of empty rooms nearby.
There are loads, and I bet most of them are soundproof for reasons we probably don't want to think too much about. Lanhee, do you want me to do a charisma performance?
Yes.
At what difficulty? And bear in mind, this is my best pool. This is going to be 9 dice.
Cool. You shouldn't have told me that because now I'm gonna make it hard.
Why would you say that?
But every indication has been it won't be hard because, like, she has that information.
Difficulty 5.
Remember, willpower is a thing too.
Yes,
Yes,
please
that
use that.
exists.
I'm sorry, I need to put the value in, and I've forgotten what it was now because it was so much hassle trying to find the pool. What was the difficulty?
5.
5.
Oh yeah, you're good.
7.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. You're fine.
And
So what's the effect on Levi?
So Levi, as she starts singing this song, you feel your beast shift into like a more calmer state. He's not angry. It's like all the anger that it felt has left.
and he just sighs in relief. Oh, it's gone. I don't have to listen to that. It's like getting Barry Manilow stuck in the back of your head and it won't go away.
Could it be magic though?
That's a good song too. But yeah, I feel much better. Yeah, that definitely worked. I like the new song. He tries to sing the same words very poorly. Very poorly.
But you can make it stop, right? It doesn't stay there.
He stops for a moment. Yes, I don't feel it currently. All right. Maybe I'll get some work done and not feel annoyed. Well, you should go try that
Happy
on the
to help.
rest of them. I don't know why we were so worried. You're good at this.
It's a reach doing it by myself. That's what it is.
And when you sing, it sounds like there's instruments and everything. You know that. That's not mine.
That wasn't the singing.
So the three of you watch as Levi and Heather exit from the room, and you can just tell by the way Levi is walking that there's been a change in like his overall aura per se.
He's got a half smile and doesn't seem like a grouch.
I think we can chalk that one up as a success.
Had a good time.
Well, I'm not hearing the noise anymore.
How long will that last?
Well, it's
Hopefully,
lasted
always.
a few minutes so far, so.
Until, I mean, I guess, I don't know what happens if you hear the song again, the corrupted song.
Good thought. We'll have to keep you nearby. I wonder, would you be able to counter it with your singing?
That doesn't feel like something I want to try right now.
If
To
it
be
came to
fair, we
it.
can also try to inflict the song back onto Levi because we know the lyrics to the bad song, just to see if it works or it doesn't work.
Levi is starting to look nervous.
It's better. It's better to do it in a controlled environment rather than out in the wild.
I don't like the idea of poking at someone's beast using music.
Unfortunately, that's what's happening nowadays. So, if you have a fix for it, why not see if it actually is resilient?
I am willing, but I don't like it.
Yeah, same. But Noah has a point. We need to know if it undoes, redoes. Does it have a limit how many times it works?
I don't like
This is
the
all the kind of stuff
idea.
you'd be asking.
Reminds me of my
Is it
sire.
with anybody else? Because I'm not feeling particularly bothered by it currently. I was humming it quite a bit.
Yes, well, you're used to things running through your head. Other people aren't.
It's only when I was not thinking about stuff I would start to hum it and get
I
angrier.
don't know if I want to see Levi's dark side. Maybe we just chalk this up as a win.
It's deeply important that we know the full capacity of this, not just go, oh, it's a good thing, and then leave it as that.
I
Yeah,
don't
like
like it, but you're right.
We got like a cage or something in this place. There's like
I sincerely hope not.
I can make a cage, but that require going outside. So we won't do that right now. But it was just lock you in a room too. So
Someone's gotta
Yeah,
back
look out for the
that's an
fire.
idea. We can just lock in the room. That's
yeah.
Well,
Jean, would you mind assisting just in case?
give me a bear hug from behind.
It's mostly just throw him in the room and then lock the door. Make sure Heather
Yeah.
gets out.
All
Make
that
sure
cheap
he stays
plywood
in.
will stop an angry vampire for sure. No problem.
And Heather needs to go back into her bag and find the original lyrics for the bag version, which are Latin, I think. Yeah, I still have that actually.
It's just Toxic by Britney Spears.
It's more like there's a really, really old song that's been like referenced a bunch of times. I think Beethoven used it a little bit, and Vangelis used it a little bit in the music for 1492. But like, it's a sequence of chords that's just been around a very long time.
You'll have fun.
Oh, it's going to be a laugh. Yeah.
Levi will
Okay.
walk to the furthest part of the room and leave
I'll be
Heather
near
by
the
the door.
and I'll close the door. And like, okay, Jeannie, can you hear me right now? Nothing.
You're
Good.
mute.
That's working.
Jeannie, you're mute.
No, the whole point is Jeannie can't hear. This is good. Don't want Jeannie to hear. If Jeannie's outside the door, can't hear, not going to hear either. We don't want Jeannie to hear.
She's arguing with her cat right now.
Yeah.
Cat's winning.
Detective Pop.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna make you re-roll that performance and charisma check because
That's a kind of a relief.
you're not
Also,
gonna make you roll another one.
How does Levi handle
Okay,
the
so I'm
bad
going to sing the
version?
Latin one.
So as you begin to sing the bad one, Levi, for a split second, you feel a small bit of anger arising, but then it like dissipates very quickly. So it starts and then something seems to be blocking it and pushes it back down.
You doing okay there?
Unmute. That'll help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel fine. The beast got a little aggravated, but then it subsided. Hopefully it lasts.
Well, that is very encouraging.
For right now, you might have to sing often to us to make sure it stays active.
I mean, I can do that. I used to sing every night to different people. I want to open the door though, and I'm not rushing out and like frantically closing the door behind me. So hopefully Jeannie gets that things are okay. Cat is arguing again.
How did it all turn out?
Well, when she started to sing it in Latin, or I think that's what you said it was. He looks over, but
Yep, it was Latin.
I found it aggravating at first, but then I got calmer.
That's
It doesn't
good.
seem
Is
to
this
be
something
bothering me.
we could weaponize on other kindred, possibly. We had.
I will not do that.
Well, I mean, if we had to.
If we had to, there's subtler ways of doing it. You make a room full of people angry like that, out of control, that is bad for everyone.
Mhm.
Anyway, you
I
should see
agree.
what some of the people I know can do. Like, they can make people just die.
Just die with the song.
Yeah, but that's like the advanced practitioners.
Still,
Well, good to know the experiment worked.
another tool in the box.
Does anyone else want me to, like, remove the song? Or deaden it? Whatever that was?
Sure. If you'd like to do the concert in our lovely conference room with its nice, what is the word for that? The
Acoustics.
acoustics, yes.
Okay. Am I rolling this time, or am I still riding high on that?
We're gonna let you ride high on that because that's
Yeah, that's like a roll for performing this song today.
yes. That's so. As Heather begins to sing the original calmer version of it, you all feel the shift in your beast. The anger leaves. Your beast is calm, back to normal.
The OG verse.
Who is next to Sabrina at this moment? Cool, awesome.
I was
So
going to
as
ask how that
Heather,
went.
so as Heather is singing, you do out of the corner of your eye, you see Sabrina's grip on the pencil. She has tightened to the point that it snaps, and you see her fighting within herself to get up and go after Heather because she doesn't want to hurt her, and you can tell she doesn't, but something is rising up that makes her want to.
Put hands on her shoulders, kind of support that stay.
Is her beast arising? Was what Levi might sense with his beast sense?
The beast is calm. It's like that darkness that's in her is what's fueling this. I want to react, but her beast is calm. Her beast is calm like the rest of your
Okay,
beast are.
that's something to make note of.
Snowa has her hands on her shoulders, just kind of standing over her to hold her down and just looking down at her, checking her eyes to see if any of that's changing.
They are starting to shift, but she is trying her best to stay in control because she is very aware from what you all have explained to her, what happens when that shift happens, and she's trying her best to remain in control.
How is she
And she doesn't
doing?
really she doesn't signal for like Heather to stop at all. It's just purely monitoring as far as it can go.
Yeah,
I mean, I
well,
was probably a bit distracted by the pencil breaking, but just carry on.
Yeah.
yeah, Varlin will interpose between the two of them, like not touching anybody, but just putting a body in between Heather as well.
With you holding her, Noah, you can tell the agitation in her body as she's trying to be released from your grasp. And you, both Varlin and Noah, can hear her just head down, softly chanting in Latin, but it's not affecting anything. As Heather's song seems to be overpowering whatever she's trying to rise up.
We need to get her an exorcism.
Yeah, I don't know no Latin, so I'm not going to be able to remember what she's saying later.
Is it the same Latin that she chanted when we were at the nuclear plant?
It is something different.
She's doing that very well for someone who doesn't know any Latin.
They used to teach it in school in the 50s, high schools.
But as soon as you stop singing, Heather, you feel that shift in her change to back to normal. Like she just relaxes.
Fantastic. What was that? Please describe feelings, sensations.
It wasn't her
I
beast.
felt angry, I guess is the best way to describe it.
I mean, stronger word than that. That was more than that.
Rage. Does
Fair enough.
rage work? Rage.
Yep, rage works.
Do you know what you said?
She must be stopped. I don't know if I was sending that call to someone or if it was just to myself.
What do you mean by sending?
While I was drawing earlier, though I was tuned out, I did hear that you all think or that I'm getting radio like signals from the others.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking maybe I also send things back to them unintentionally when I have that response to certain things. I haven't done it recently, so don't think bad of me.
I mean, it makes sense it'd be two-way.
Yeah, my slightest worry is that if you are sending signals outwards, you're also bringing signals from us to them, which is a whole nother thing that I'm going to look into now. But
it seems to only when something irritates whatever's in me. And I don't think it was my beast. I didn't sense that it was upset.
Oh, your beast was quite calm. All of us were quite calm with that.
Levi, you felt it was something else?
It wasn't her beast. So it
Did
is
you know
something else. I could see her eyes changing just like Ken was ready. But yeah, it wasn't her beast. So there's definitely
You
a
need an
third.
exorcism.
Was this Oprah? You get an exorcism. You get an exorcism.
Well, I can don't know much about that side of things, but you do.
I do.
I think it would be a
Depends.
wise idea, though we might want to try to figure out what we're dealing with first.
Yeah.
Well, going off conjecture, the fact that her beast did the same thing as all of ours and just calmed down to get that whole rhythm out of it, but something extra inside her decided to rage and go, this should not be happening. We need to stop it. And given all the Latin occultist corruption type situation going on, either she is possessed or that experiment has something to do with infusing whatever that was. It feels spiritual. It feels mostly spiritual. I don't think it was wolf experimentation on this one specifically because I don't know any. Well, I don't know wolves that well, but I'm pretty sure that this isn't a thing that they deal with.
I was wondering if they planted the same thing in one of those beasts, what it could do.
Depends on what it is.
Well, I was referring to the werewolf friend of yours. They had him.
I completely forgot about this necklace, by the way. She says, "Pull out a gold necklace."
When you pull out the necklace, Sabrina kind of looks at it. She's like, I've seen this before. She opens her book and like sketches. And in the picture, it's her and the necklace was around her neck.
So you wore this before?
Vaguely, I vaguely remember. I think my visions are just my memories coming back, I think. But I do remember wearing it. It was a gift, they called it.
They.
Silas, the woman in red, the sheriff.
This also belonged to the person who gave up the cloth.
Well, yes, this was taken off of them. I guess also a gift before they were sent out on their mission in which they died terribly.
Yeah, Lonnie, in the vision that Varlin saw, did he see any necklaces or anything like that on other folk?
When the woman in red pointed at you,
Right.
you felt their hands go up to hold the necklace.
Okay.
So it was already given to them, but the other members didn't seem to be wearing.
Okay, so the person I was inhabiting or seeing was the only one wearing one. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems like a likely story then, though. I still think the more we could find out about Sabrina, her sire, possible clan, all that stuff would be good. Maybe we should reach out to Marcus or anybody else who could tell us that kind of thing.
I have a meeting with Malkavian Promgen at 3 a.m., by the way. If you wanted to attend.
I don't know. But I could
Well, you can get to know them. That's why they're attending.
You generally have good relationships with Primogen?
What was that?
Do you generally have good relationships with older vampires, Primogen, that type?
I am an older vampire, so yes, I tend to get along with others of my age.
Yeah, usually when I bump into them, I get pulled into this kind of crap. And so I try to stay clear, generally.
Well, unfortunately, you're currently in this crap. So you might want to actually make some connections, especially with someone who's in charge of all the Malkavians in the city.
You could just say you want me to go. I'll go with you. That's fine.
Oh, no, you don't have to go. I'm just recommending from a political standpoint, maybe you should be interested.
I definitely am. It is good
You'd
to
be
know.
weird to go.
I can vouch for him. He seems all right.
I'm more interested in what is there, what he might say.
You're just there to be nosy. I'm going to tell you what they say afterwards.
Oh.
less likely to say things if you just stand around being like, "What are you saying?"
Noah, if you need to offer them anything, and if any of them have heard the song, I can do my thing for them.
All right.
Heather seems like a good one to bring along for sure.
No, I wouldn't be good to go, but if you want to use that as like a
A
bargaining
bargaining chip just in case
Mm-hmm.
anything needs to be bought or sold.
Yeah.
I'm mostly trying to just figure out the structure of the city because right now it doesn't exist.
I mean,
Yeah, well, we
Does
haven't
anyone know what happened to the old prince? Did he
No.
just leave? Did the previous prince just leave? Because that happened to a bunch of people in London, like the old ones. They just went.
Yeah, a lot of them have been bailing on the United States.
That's one of the questions I'm going to ask.
Because that would explain the gap in knowledge, experience. That seems to be
Yeah,
the middle of
I,
all
I
this.
don't want to say there's no structure. We're unaware of it at this point.
well,
No, there is
there's
no structure.
the prince who's so young, younger than me, is in charge of this whole city. That's ridiculous.
She had to get there somehow.
She got
She-
there because no one else wanted the job, and no one else is pushing her out of the job. Everyone has decided to go off into their own little corners and be quiet.
And no one
Does that make
listens.
you
And
serious?
ignore
I
that.
mean, bunch of kindred, old in some cases, and none of them want the job.
No, because it's a target. Who wants the target on the back?
I'm
And
just
also,
saying.
watch-
I've never
She
been
has-
in a city where a bunch of vampires didn't want to be king of the heat.
Unfortunately, there's the issue with the Sabat over there. There's this little cultist issue that's occurring. There's a bunch of problems that no one wants to inherit. She inherited because her friend's missing, and that's the only thing that really matters to her. It's also the fact that she's on this seat and no one is listening to her. She has no connection to any Provision Council. Her sheriff is against her. She barely has a functioning Elysium. She's just sitting there with a title and no power.
So maybe it's only in like a ticking clock until someone just takes it.
Pretty much.
I think she's been placed there as a target for something to focus on.
Yes, absolutely.
We haven't
I
really
said.
spoken with her all that much ourselves, so I mean, they're all just first impressions, right?
These are not. I've gone around. My entire thing is hunting down kindred, so I tend to try to locate them and try to figure out what the structure is, try to figure out what exactly people can get away with, what I can get away with. And it's a lot. It's a lot. So you should come to this meeting.
That's what I seem to be hearing. So I'll be there.
Should we take potential possessed Malkavia?
I wouldn't, but
I would like to stay here and see what she has to draw yet.
I mean, you could look through her pile of drawings that she has already.
I'm hoping to find something unique. Maybe if we can get her mind to focus on, like we said, radio. Maybe we can focus on something else. She seems to be drawing the same stuff pretty much over and over again.
You also talking to her in the third person like she's not sitting right here.
He does.
I mean, she seems to come in and out. I don't know.
Levi just can't remember her name.
Didn't he also refer to a pregnancy as an incubation earlier?
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Noah, you do get a message from Marcus that tells you to meet Jessica at the park that you always meet at, which is the Nature Haven Park.
All right, I have a location for Miss Jessica. Go on to go. Get ready now.
Does everybody else stay at the hotel?
I think it would make sense that you two at least go. Maybe Jeannie for some muscle.
I like muscle. You want to come along, muscles?
You don't have to come if you don't want to. I don't expect this one to be a muscle situation. But if you want to listen to a bunch of political talk, you
You might
absolutely
learn
can.
something, Jeannie.
She's muted.
Still muted. Still muted.
Yeah, we can't hear you
Uh-huh. One moment. Intermission.
though.
Did you all practice this dance and not tell me?
It's true. We were
It's a
like,
standard intermission dance.
don't invite Lavaita.
We could take a break.
Shazam. Hello.
How about now?
Yes.
Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. I said I'll go.
I know I'll feel
Mean
safer if
something.
you're around, Jeannie.
Oh my god.
So we
Aw.
handled that dude in the alleyway.
That poor human. I feel really bad about that. I thought he was kindred.
Yeah, you felt real powerful there for a minute.
Oh my god.
Just try not to do that to the Primogen. We might need him.
Well, I hope
Yeah,
he
please
doesn't
don't.
piss me off. No, just kidding. I won't
No.
do that.
Depends if he's sitting on a cool 5K or not.
So the three of you start to make your way to the park. It is 3 in the morning, so the park is relatively empty, except for like the few homeless people that are sleeping on the benches. But
Brother?
and near the fountain that's in the middle of this park, on it sits this woman. She has shoulder length red hair. She is wearing a leather jacket, a band t shirt, like an ACDC t shirt, and blue jeans and black leather boots. And she kind of hops off the fountain as the three of you make your way into the park. And she turns to Noah. Ah, you must be Noah, correct?
Jessica, nice to meet you.
I was informed that I was meeting with you, but who are these others that you have brought?
This lovely gentleman is Varlin. He is of your clan. And this lovely lady is Jeannie. She is my adopted child.
I have been informed that you had questions for me.
Yes, so I won't say I'm new here, but I am fairly fresh in regards to this new situation that's going on in your city. And as I understand it, you are in charge of your family,
That is correct.
and you're currently in charge of your family.
Yes,
So why doesn't the prince acknowledge that?
she is very young, as you all have, I'm assuming, have met her.
Yes.
Our reasoning for keeping our distance has nothing to do with her youth or her knowledge. She is very smart, very wise beyond her years. It's of fear, not of her, but of her sire. Silas is a very powerful kindred. I have watched him kill many of my kind. within a blink of an eye. I am protecting the few that I have left. It's not that I don't want to help her, but if you were in a situation where someone that powerful could make it to where you have none of your own kind left, of your own family, would you not protect them instead?
Very fair, but is her sire Camarilla? Because I feel like a system is in place to fix that.
He is Sabat.
Hmm.
Sabat are not the best followers of rules.
Yeah, he's made it pretty clear that he got no use for her.
Again.
So you're saying that this city is actually under Sabat rule right now, effectively.
As we are speaking, yes. I
God
do
damn it.
hope that Miss Valentine is able to fix this city. But until I know for sure that she is capable, I must keep my distance.
What gives you any measure of confidence that the child of someone so powerful will be able to defeat their sire?
I've seen it done before. The prince before her took down his sire. His sire was a threat to the city.
But it was the same imbalance of power in regards to he can slaughter your whole family in a night, and she is a child, a literal toddler in comparison.
She is stronger than she puts on. I think her focus is wavering because of her friend. But I have seen what as I myself have seen what she can do. She just needs the push in the right direction. But I cannot offer that.
That's mighty interesting because you're the first person we come across that has had any kind word for her. You said you've seen what she can do. What exactly have you seen, if you don't mind me asking?
She, as being a child of Silas, her powers match up to his. If she had the motivation, she could destroy him with the slightest bit of help. We just choose not to give her that help.
And also, she chooses to not do it herself.
Well, she is distracted by this disappearance or these disappearances.
It's not that much effort to rip someone's heart out if you want to.
Well,
It doesn't take that much time either.
when you're
Her
sheriff,
and her and Silas have more of a not a sire and child bond, more of a father and daughter bond. She is not aware that he is here in the city. Weirdly enough, she, like you said, is very focused on this. Maybe if you are able to get her attention in the right places, she may be able to restore the city out of Sabat control.
Yet you're unwilling to do this, as is any other clan.
It's not worth losing any more than I already have lost.
I love a sacrifice. Who was the last prince?
Prince James. He didn't just walk away. He gave up his life to try to stop what was happening.
Was he killed by Silas?
He was one of the many that were taken. Yes,
There's a difference between dying and being taken.
he died. Yes.
Hmm.
When was this? I mean, I heard it say that people say that she's been, pretty fresh at this, but when about did she seize the reins of power in the city?
After Prince James fell, no one wanted to step in to that title. When her friend went missing, a little bit after that is when she decided to take the title upon herself.
And everyone let her.
If she is willing to sacrifice herself, why stop her?
Unfortunately, she's not willing to sacrifice herself because she called us. So, hence why we're now here walking around asking people what's going on exactly because she doesn't know. I asked her who the Primogen were. That's why it took so long to get in contact with you.
I felt it was best that I offered you what I knew. I owed Marcus a favor, a boon, a small one. So this is the way to repay it.
And thus, we won't ask too much of you because it was a small favor of his. But how many of yours are left?
Maybe 150, 151 counting him.
That's a significant amount.
Compared to what we used to have reign over the city. There were more of us, and then that battle happened, and I saved ones that I could.
We just talking Malkavians here, or is this just all the kindred in the city?
Malkavians.
So are there representatives of all the clans then?
Yes, and I have tried to reach out to them for your sake. I figured if Marcus reached out to me, this was something important. Many of them have refused. A couple of them have just not answered. But if I am able to get even just a few that are willing to tell you more, I will let you know.
Thank you for that. Are you aware of how many of yours have been taken or otherwise kidnapped? You said that a number simply haven't responded. Is there any type of check-in system y'all have established yet?
The ones that have been taken were taken during the battle. We have searched for them, but have not found anything.
Approximate number there.
Maybe about 50.
Hmm. Well, how can I contact you in the future? I'm not a big phone person. I have one of those, but
She looks at Varlin. I will communicate.
Valen, do you consent to being communicated with
Yeah,
through your
certainly. I'm
shared phone plan or whatever you call it?
very helpful, and I much appreciate it. I just can't help but have more questions. For everyone that's answered, there's a dozen more that pop back in. Like, that's a lot of Malkavians for one city, and if all of the clans are represented, whew, I'm not surprised that there's a winnowing happening. I don't see how the city can support that many kindred. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
There are more of us here than there are the others.
Yeah.
We helped founded the Camarilla here.
All this stuff with Silas, you know about that little cult he's got going on? You said you were scared of him and his power. And I can understand that, but I've been picking up pieces here and there. Red Lady, interactions with lichens, all kinds of strange things. You know anything about that you'd be willing to share?
The only thing I do know is there was mention of a lady in red during those battles. She was never present.
Hmm.
But she seemed to help feed his power in some way.
You mentioned he would take out other kindred in a blink of an eye. So we know what kind of abilities he's been known to use. I mean, moving fast, that's a known one.
I
You know,
assume that if his child is gangrel, so is he, and that entire package.
oh, I didn't understand that. He
Yes.
okay.
So the resilience and the claws and the animals and the might have sprinkled a little bit of celery on top of that.
He's
I
also
mean, if
got
it's a pot, there's a whole nother thing with that, but I'll get to that.
yeah. They share all kinds of things in that group, right?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, they do.
How do
You
you feel
pass the
about this,
cup
Jeannie?
around. You pass the cup around a time or two, Jeannie.
They tried.
How do you feel about this, Jeannie?
I think it's odd that there's so many Malkavians in one city, but also I'm kind of pissed that I left the Sabbat just to come here and deal with more Sabbat, but we're gonna get through it.
I mean, they don't really have a very good pension plan, from what I hear. So
No, it's pretty revolving door. How many Sabbat, I guess, would you say, are stationed here and functioning in the city?
That make up his army, per se.
Hmm.
About 100. The rest are caitiffs that didn't feel welcomed in their own clan.
Hmm.
Listen, this Winnebago idea I had earlier is starting to sound real good. I'm just saying.
Kinda is.
Any idea what they're doing here?
Something.
Like why Memphis?
There was a slight fracture in the power structure when Silas made himself known in Memphis. He was a part of Elysium. He saw that fracture in the structure and ran away with it.
I'm just wondering if he got all of them loyal soldiers, right? And all this other freaky cult stuff beside him. He doesn't care for his daughter. He wants her gone. Why he just doesn't do it? He seems to have the numbers, the power. He's older than her.
Yeah, he
Strange
has
that he's trying to
to.
get us to do it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a test. He could do it if he wants to, but that also involves, right now he technically rules the city if he actually wants to apply it whenever he wants to, because his baby is on the throne. Why would you destroy that? You might send people after her as a challenge, or just show that, oh, I'm actually against you and not using you as a puppet.
Maybe he's more sentimental than we thought. Maybe he just can't bring himself to do it himself.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Spot.
It's sticky.
Well, whatever the reason, he's not doing it himself.
Everyone loves using the glove, using the puppet. Or actually probably just trying to throw us at her so we can get killed based off of the fact that apparently she can defend herself pretty well.
Yeah, I must have missed that whole clan discussion earlier. I had no idea. But that does make sense.
Or he's trying to keep her busy.
More likely.
I'm still.
Well, we'll find out later.
Is there anything else you need from me?
Yeah, I got one question left. One more thing, if I could. Is there anything that you can think of that might help you get off the fence one way or the other? I mean, you've helped us out. You've talked to us for a bit, helped open our eyes, so to speak. Can you see anything moving the needle for Clan Malkavian one way or the other?
If you all or she is able just to show me a small glimmer of hope that this city can be saved, then I will gladly help in any way possible.
What's saving it look like for you exactly?
She turns to look at Noah. You have been here when the city had structure. You know what that looks like.
It's just back to that.
Organization, efficiency.
Just functioning in its entirety.
All right, then I appreciate an honest answer. We should probably get going, huh, Noah?
Might you be able to give me some contact information for other Primogen that you are currently aware are still alive? Pass me down the chain.
I will send any information that they are willing to give to him.
Fine. Well, that would be all for me, unless, Jeannie, you have anything you want to ask? Mute. Still mute.
There's
Still
a whole
mute.
lot of spot,
Am I
right?
unmuted?
There you go.
Okay, good. No, I was just saying I think I'm okay. I think I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time this lovely morning.
She just nods. This is a favor to Marcus, so I will not request anything from you.
But if you do need
Oh,
anything
true.
from us, you can let him know.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we have to offer, but we do appreciate the information.
I'm a terrifying blood witch. And she just turns around and goes.
She is that, indeed. Yeah. Garland just gives her the old salute.
Yeah.
As we leave, can I take a real close look at? You said there was like other homeless bums and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like in the park. Any of them seem to be paying close attention to us or anything like that? Or are they close enough to hear things?
They're all asleep. None of them are really paying attention. It's like December. They're trying to stay warm and sleep, so they're not really.
December
We
at
don't
3
wait to
a.m.
them.
Yeah.
Garland kind of passes a hungry eye over them for a second because that's just easy pickings right there.
Mhm.
But he pulls himself away.
I will let you all discuss anything you may want to discuss on the walk back to the hotel.
I'm just astounded at the number of kindred in the city. You know,
Yeah, it's definitely a kind of an overflow. So it's not even more things can get away, can get gotten away with. I don't know how to construct the sentence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people can get away with a lot of things.
I mean, I haven't been paying attention to the crime blotter or anything like that, but that many kindred here, it's got to be out of control. Like
Anemia probably is skyrocketing, heart conditions, and
Yeah.
so
Murders.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if that goes on for too long, what happens, right? Like
hunters
Heather,
mostly.
yeah, Heather was just talking about London. I don't know if you heard any echoes from that. Wasn't pretty from what I hear.
I mean, that is also one like very neat way of tying up this whole issue. It's just bring in the hunters, hide until the hunters have cleared everything.
Preferably when we're not around.
Yeah, that's it. Hide. Get in the Winnebago.
Yeah.
Oh God, no,
Come back
not
later.
Winnebago.
Better all the time. Is all I'm saying. I mean, what do we hope to accomplish against 100, 150 cultists, man? That's
I mean, that's not what we're up against. That's just the amount of people who don't want to do shit. So
I think we need to talk to this prince again. I've been telling you all along that we shouldn't underestimate it. And I'm starting to get the sense that I was right about that.
yes, but just because someone's strong doesn't mean they're right.
No,
Or make good
but if her
decisions. Given that
sire
she-
is old and powerful, the blood will tell. You know?
Her sire is a Sabbat, and she's stationed on the throne.
Yeah. She
Everyone is
doesn't
Just
afraid
because
of her
just
sire.
because someone was born in the Sabbat doesn't mean they're loyal to them. Just throwing that out there.
case in
That's
point.
not what I'm saying, though. What I'm saying is she's a puppet. It's a very natural thing to do to have a child and then place them in a position of power and let them seem like they are independent and doing things on their own when really you're controlling them. That is what a lot of sires use their child for, especially in the Camarilla. We're do it in the Sabbat, but you know, it's also a way to take over a city.
Asking us to, you know, put her on ice. He could just be testing her to see how strong she is, all that kind of stuff. Old vampires are weird like that. They love their tests.
Mm-hmm. Just throw something at her, give her some type of challenge, or maybe try to knock her off of this obsession she has over this friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see how that'd rankle his feathers. Somebody who she cares about more than him.
Not even more than him, more than doing her job.
Mm.
Because she took the position of prince purely to look for her friend. She didn't do it for power. She didn't do it for the influence. She did it because her friend is missing.
Sure.
It is not a good reason to be a prince.
Also, I gotta say, Primogen wasn't asking for a whole lot. Like some semblance of structure, function, return to the old ways.
Yeah.
Might not be too hard to deliver on that if we keep building that network out, like you talked
Yes.
about.
I mean, mostly it has to involve getting rid of the cult that's currently here and getting rid of the Sabbat that support that cult.
Yeah.
That's the main thing to get rid of before we can do any type of structure building.
Werewolf Pack or two might help out there. Just
Yes. Once we find where to throw them at.
Well, I do love it when a plan starts to come together.
Now, here's the thing. So, in our betrayal, you'll be reporting to the prince while Jeannie and I go over to Silas and figure out what's going on with there. So you can absolutely talk with the prince and let them know, hey, your sire's trying to get you killed, and they brought up all of this stuff.
That was my intention when I said maybe we should check back in with them. I mean, we don't know
Should.
that she knows that her sire wants her gone. She might not.
She doesn't even know her sire is present.
All more good reason to talk to her, see what she does know, what she doesn't.
Absolutely.
It's a
You
harder
can go
task
ahead and do
than
that.
I thought when she set us to it.
You can go ahead and do that. Take Heather, take Levi, and be on her side as firmly as you can, because we're going on the other side.
Well, hopefully I'll see you on the other side of it.
I mean, we're not just straight leaving, so don't just say, hey, Noah and Jeannie have defected, because that's not what's happening. We're being quiet in our betrayal.
Oh, yeah, I got no intention of telling her all that stuff. She don't need to know that.
But yes, assemble everything, report as needed.
You all finally arrive in front of the hotel. You still have maybe like an hour or so before daylight. If you want to discuss with the other found before you have to go to.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously I'd like to update him on the meeting with the Primogen. Varlin doesn't really have any reason to silo the information. I think he would just tell it flat out.
Assemble everybody to the conference room.
And you'll find Levi with Alex. I believe it's Alex. Going through her drawings, trying to figure out a timeline if we can, and working with her. Is this from when? And see if we can get them in an order. Stuff like that. If there's any unique ones. The whole desk is covered with it. Chairs got them all over the place with the images. There's really no place to sit in the place. And she's still
Red
drawing.
string everywhere.
Yep. So that's what you guys walk into. I don't know where
Return this
Heather
place
is.
to a gallery.
Well, she does draw quite well, but it's repetitive. And I'm trying to see if there's some semblance of an order, or if she's getting multiple signals using our radio reference before. Or if it's just the same things over and over, just different views, angles, anything. Or if we can even use anything to locate where they are.
Don't go insane with her.
Oh, this is just entertainment. Trying to find patterns, like, oh, that's what I like to do.
That's how it starts.
Okay, I'll take that to heart.
I appreciate it.
Do we see anything in any of those references I made, Lonnie? If there's any like an order or a different time, we can see them in like different steps or anything that might identify where some of these places are. That was the other thing goal was looking through all of them.
So, as she's been drawing this whole time, the drawings are, like you said, kind of repetitive, but they're from different people's perspectives. They're not all just her. There are a few that are like, they're like the rougher drawn ones, the ones she's not really sure about from what she's gathering, but they seem to be maybe before this person got taken. There's one that kind of like depicts a battle.
Okay. You'll make people aware of that and any distinguishing locations, like where some of these places might be. Building, a sign. I don't know how she's drawing.
The main one that keeps being cycled through the drawings is a church. It's a very old church based on the cycles of drawings. One of the drawings shows it new, like freshly built. As you go down the line, one of the last drawing of it shows it very run down with vines and very decayed looking.
Okay. He's going to point that out to the rest of the group when they arrive. But as she's drawing, he's just picking them up and looking at them. Takes the next one.
Do we recognize this church or no?
Varlin recognizes the church. This is one of the few churches in Memphis that you recognize was used at some point as a place for homeless to sleep.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
You don't remember the name per se, but the drawing is very accurate to what you remember.
How was the soup?
It wasn't. It was always tomato soup.
All right. Immaculate.
It's important information.
I saw the interior of the church in my premonition, right? Not the exterior.
Yes, the interior of the church.
Yeah, so I couldn't say with any certainty that this was the place, but I think we need to go to church. I think we need to get some Jesus.
Do you know where the church is?
I think I can find it.
Well, with these drawings, I probably could locate it on Google Maps. Or something.
Hey, Jeannie,
like
you feel like getting some religion?
Mute.
Mute.
Still mute. Probably need your ear thingy.
Yeah, I don't know what your audio source is, but so what I'm hearing is Jeannie is going to church, and we're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna take some Eucharist. It'll be a blast.
I'll try not to catch fire.
I don't know why it keeps doing that.
There we go. Hear you now.
Yeah, I was saying never been much for religion myself, but I'll set foot in a church.
I haven't caught on fire yet. Just saying.
Yeah.
I will try not to catch on fire.
I have not burst into sinful flames as yet.
Oh, in case you haven't run into that when Jeannie fire real bad.
Well, to be fair, fire always bad.
Yeah, but for us especially bad.
We should experiment with that later. It's something easy, just like a candle, and just try to hold your hand over it. Yes. What better way to learn?
Well, I don't think we're going to get to this church tonight. We got, what, hour before nap time?
Oh yeah,
So-
absolutely not.
But I think tomorrow night might not be a bad idea. And if we could arrange it, maybe a meeting with the prince. What do y'all think?
I mean, yeah. So, you want me to call the prince, or you call the prince, or?
I wouldn't know where to start.
All right, you don't do the. I'll call.
You got some carrier pigeons in here?
I'll let the prince know that we want to meet with her to share information.
Provide her with an update of what we found so far.
Yeah, make sure you have a nice compiled thing. If you could just hand off to her, that'd be great. So we don't have to go in a week-long spiel about what we found over the past 2 months.
Oh, you don't want me to just show rambling in front of the sheriff and everything?
I mean, you could, but
the sheriff is aware of much of what we're going to tell anyway.
Are we gonna inform the prince about the sheriff?
Oh, hell yeah. But I would prefer the sheriff wasn't there, honestly.
Yeah, that's the part. I feel like the sheriff might be there, and that'd be a great response. How come I want to see that response live?
What if we distracted the sheriff? If the sheriff is there, we distract her somehow.
No, I want her to hear it.
Oh.
And I want the prince to react accordingly to it, because I want to see what the prince can do.
You just want to see things burn, Noah.
Yes. I mean, she is the prince. This is your sheriff. Your sheriff is betraying you very hardcore. I need you to show why you're prince.
What you're
Didn't
capable
the prince?
Well, there's some interest into that, because if she's as strong as we all think she might be, she might just take her own piece off the board. That's one less tool for Silas.
Yes. Always work out well.
It's been a little while, but didn't she kind of offer you the position?
Yes. And there'll be an open position, won't it?
Yeah. Is that what you want?
I mean, no, that's not what I want, but I'll take it.
You go toe to toe with Gangrel and Nosferatu and all that?
I can do things.
No doubt. No doubt.
I wouldn't want to tangle with them.
So I think we should do that. We try to make sure when I talk to the prince, I'll say, please make sure that your sheriff is present for this meeting.
You sure we don't want to come there?
Shall we bring our artist, Alec?
Yeah, I just don't want her to just be sitting around alone, mostly.
Also, I'll start writing the report. Is there anybody who knows how? Never mind. I'll get the spreadsheets and stuff going. And
yes, please. You can do it. You just compile all that stuff.
The word, yeah. And he goes back into the computer room and kind of shuts the door, and you start to hear loud hair metal band music. So.
Just poison pouring out of the...
Well, poison, warrant. Yeah, yep. That's what he was turned when he was in college. That was the music he listened to. So.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, we got a plan for tomorrow night.
Sounds good to me.
Fantastic. I'm going to knock out. It's a miracle I'm alive. I'm awake right now. So, and she goes.
If no one wants to do anything else, that's where we're going to end session for tonight.
All right. And good session.
I feel like we should acknowledge the raid. Thank you, Lollygaggers. You brought 60 odd people
Thank
here.
You.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people all of a sudden.
Yeah. I'm going to... While people are talking, I'll find somewhere for us to raid so that we're not just leaving everyone hanging when we're done here.
All right. Anything anybody wants to announce or set up or anything? I know we got one on Memphis here, but I'll let Lanhee take care of that.
Nope. I just want to thank everybody for watching. It was a fun time. And,
okay. Only thing I gotta mention is I'm trying to get a Dragon Bane game going for the channel. I'm looking at, so pay attention to our Discord. I'm hoping to start it here in a few weeks, so it might just have to try to find dates and times. I'm thinking possibly before this one or on late Sundays. So, but other than that, Lanhee has some good news or some fun times coming up.
So this will be our last episode. We're going to take a hiatus until November. I'm actually getting married in October. So I'm taking the time away from being a storyteller to focus on personal life for a little bit. But November 2nd, so the first Saturday in November, we will be back with more Memphis Fun Night.
Could be more excited.
It's be a very exciting episode when we meet the prince and bring the sheriff and have
We're all
that
going to
happen.
be wearing bridal gowns.
Red ones.
Yes.
Red bridal gown.
Yep.
All right. Have a
Okay.
good.
Our next game session will be Fallout, which will be tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
depending where you are time zone wise. And then Slay Industries on Tuesday. Times and stuff will be on the Discord. I've got a raid ready if everyone else is done.
Ready to go.
Yep.
Slay Industries.
Let's
Slay.
get to the right
That's right.
scene. All right, guys. Have a good night. Headed out. See you next
All
time.
right, bye.